up, everybody? 1 second, let me just reconnect to my Wi-Fi. Sorry about that. Anyways, good morning. Looks like we already got a couple people here, but I'm gonna do my disclaimer. I'm not a medical professional. Nothing I say is intended as nothing I say is intended as medical advice. Any major changes to make to your diet, something you consult with your doctor or licensed medical provider before acting in your own life. Also not a financial advisor. Nothing I say is a recommendation for investment. Also a law-abiding citizen. Anything I say that is illegal is just added for entertainment value. Nothing is an admission of guilt. Good morning, everybody. How are you guys doing? Franquita, Joe Lucas, First Chatters. What's happening? Sorry, guys. I'm a little sleepy. I rushed, but I made it on time. Yeah. Getting ready to do another fast. What are you guys up to? What's going on this morning? There's 6 people here. Who else is here? What's going on, you guys? I'm gonna straighten out my beard situation. Starting to get to the point where I can influence it, I guess. Wind Warrior. What's going on? Oh, sorry guys, my hair is so dry and stuff. I look like Yeti, that's why. You going camping? Oh, nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna grow the beard. I don't know. I'm just gonna let it happen. I feel like I don't really honestly love the beard situation when I'm eating. Kind of bugs me, but I kind of went off about the hair thing on the head, and then I thought about it, and I was like, it's kind of hypocritical if I keep shaving my face. So I'm just gonna let it roll. Maybe it'll be cool in the end. You never know. Maybe it'll give me superpowers. What's up, Melindy? Second wind. JB, alright, I forgot my initials, but what's up, bro? Yeah, for me it's just the food, it's just the mouth thing. Like, I don't like it when I'm eating my food and it's like going into my mouth. Now, TBJC, yeah, that's what it is. I don't like to be like chewing my food and be like, is this hair that got into my food, or is this just hair that's just like floating off my face right now? And I'm just, I assume that at some point it'll be long enough that I could braid it or something, and then it's good. Then you're past the weird point. But you need to. I feel like I at least want to be able to like braid that upper lip so that I can eat. So I'm just gonna roll with it. I'm just rolling. I'm gonna see what nature provides. Going back to the roots. Oh, that's good though. You want to have thick. See, I got the opposite problem. I'm like thin on the sides. Mine just all grows on the right. I got a little more on the right side than on the left side for whatever reason. But yeah, I don't really grow much on the sides, so it's like kind of one of those things. It's like a good thing I got like long hair, because I can just like hide it. Just be like, all right, just your average lumberjack. Not like a patchy complexioned lumberjack. Or whatever people. I don't think anyone thinks I'm a lumberjack down here in Southern California, so I can only imagine what they But they think. No, I think it's just from the sun. You know, I was blonde when I was a kid, so it's not a. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. No, it's just sun. It's just sun, I believe. What's up, Marie? What's happening? What are you doing, Millie? Hi. Let me ask you, does anyone have any questions? Anything you guys want to talk about today? I'm trying to grind out the last of this monetization process thing. I didn't really come up with any major topics that I wanted to discuss. But I'm open to whatever. I don't use any shampoo or conditioner. I just use like oil-based soap. I just keep it simple. And sometimes I put some coconut oil in there if it's looking dry. And I try to time that, like if I was gonna do the oil, right now is when I would do it, because it's almost dry, but there's like a little bit of moisture in there, So I would like lock in a little moisture. Don't want to lock in like all the moisture, you feel me? But just like the nice little dampness. Where am I staying now? I've been staying in Santa Barbara lately. In fact, I really like it here, and I guess it really depends. I don't know what it's gonna be like later on, but what I'm trying right now. I'm the weather's about to cool off, so I'm about to go try to pull the trigger on this storage thing. I'm like mentally, I'm already got rid of everything. Even though that probably really already happened subconsciously like a long time ago, but like now, like mentally, it's like it's so past the point, like it's to the point where like it's like I have like a burning desire to get rid of everything. Even though I'm like dreading the actual process of doing it, it's like I see it as like pretty much my biggest goal in life right now is to like do a full liquidation of everything and just get down to like the absolute nitty gritty, to where I can literally whatever. What's the storage item that I'm most attached to that you secretly don't want to sell? Well, it's actually a lot of items, but it's like all my gardening stuff. Like, my gardening stuff and like my tools, which might actually keep the tools, because they're, it's not like a lot. It's like, I could probably fit it in like a reasonably, I could condense that pretty good, and it's kind of useful, but like really, like, yeah, the gardening stuff, like I really, I got a lot invested in that, and I really would like to do something with it, because I'm on the all organic thing, but I don't even know if I believe that I'm sure actually that all the organic food is not probably all organic. They're probably lacing in some non-organic. They're cutting it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I'm buying, I mean, I still buy it. I still pay double for all my food. But, I don't know if I believe it. I might just be the sucker of the year. You know what I mean? One second, I'm going back to the chat, you guys. How did your fast go like 1 week ago. You were on day 2, I think. Oh yeah, it went good. I did like a little bit past the goal, which was the goal was 4 days, and I did like 97, 98 hours or something. But it was a water fast. It wasn't actually a dry fast like I intended, because I was somewhere that it was super hot, and it was I was like doing stuff like out in the sun, and I was just like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna have to have some water on this one. But it was still a nice long fast. I felt good. I felt really good on the 4th day. Joe Lucas says, sure, you want to discuss natural living? I've been doing the urban homesteading thing. Live in Iowa on a half acre and grow most of my stuff. That's awesome. Yeah, see, that's what I was just kind of talking about. I would like to do that too. I'm like on the fence, because there's 2 parts of me. This is my big, I mean, I would love to hear more about that, honestly, Joe Lucas. I don't want to be a conversational narcissist here, but trying to relate to that myself anyways. I want to do the same thing. That's why I don't want to get rid of my gardening stuff. That's what I was talking about. And the other thing is, and half acre is enough. I totally get it. It's way enough. And the other thing is that I can't but the other part of me that's doing my travel thing right now is like, okay, so I'm overlanding, right? And I'm not gonna get, I'm going to Asia at some point, and I don't think I'm coming back when I go, but so in the meantime, I want to make the most of my situation. Like, I'm not going to have another opportunity to do a couple things. Now, maybe I could do both of these things. In which case, if I decide that I'm definitely going to do both of these things, it's like a really long-term commitment. But it's definitely something to be had. But right now, I'm split between these 2 things, which I could do both, one at a time. And that's either going to basically all the states, because, this is a huge country itself, even though it's, I would like to also do the Pan American Highway and drive all the way to Argentina. So that's what I'm struggling with. So that's why I'm probably going to end up selling the gardening stuff, even though I don't want to. But, it's got to happen. And realistically, everything is so expensive now that one thing I didn't really, as I started listing things for sale, checking prices on things and stuff. Sammy, it's okay, bud, come here. As I've started listing things, hey, pal, come here. It's okay. It's like new things are so expensive now that the resale value of my stuff has gone up dramatically. So, this might be my ticket somewhere, wherever I'm going. I'm just gotta, I was planning on taking an L, but it might actually turn out to be a W, in a sense. Wind Warrior says, oh yeah, there you go. See, I'm ahead of the game. Am I still thinking about driving to South America? Yeah, I'm super thinking about it. I'm thinking hard about it. Like, I know that no matter what I want to do, I don't want to have to keep coming back and forth to a storage. So I'm on I'm the storage slayer right now. I'm trying to go into storage slaying mode. And then once all the storages are slayed, then I can be on like a one-way ticket, and I'm just gonna, I pretty much want to drive this thing so the wheels fall off. You know what I'm saying? And once the wheels start falling off, then it's time to execute Plan Asia with Sam. I'll just get Sam like a little cart. He's gonna be a working dog. You ready to work? You just want to bark at shit? That's alright. Joe Lucas says, problem with driving to South America is that you can't actually do it because there's no connecting roads between Panama and Colombia. You need to get on a ferry. Yeah, you got to ship the car across the Darien Gap, but, you know, it's doable. It's a doable feat. People do it. You know, plus it would take a long time to even get that far. Like, I would probably do 6 months in Mexico first. You know, because I'd have 6 months on the vehicle there before they'd want taxes. And then, you know, there's a bunch of other do the same thing, a little 3 month here, 3 month there, and all the other countries in South America. I mean, Central America. Then Costa Rica is kind of like a hot spot for me personally, so I probably would, you know, stretch the Costa Rica edition as far as possible. So by then, you know, Panama would be like kind of just, yeah, short trip. Let's see. How often do I meditate? You know what? That's actually a good question. And normally I would say multiple times a day. Or when I'm really feeling it and having a great day, sometimes I'll just do it like all day. But I haven't been that great the last week or so. Even though I was fasting, but I was just kind of like fasting, you know, I was with family and doing all that stuff, and I was fasting. But I wasn't meditating. I didn't have a chance to really meditate that much. And it's interesting. It's, well, not interesting in a good way, but it's a sad realization of like how fast it's like such a muscle, you know what I mean? It takes a few days to start getting or at least for me, it takes me a few days for me to get my meditation muscles back to where I can kind of get there again, if I don't do it for a little while. Oh, there we go, Wi-Fi's back. Do you can stuff, or what do you do? Or do you just kind of, how do you do your thing? I was really into the canning thing. Actually was thinking I want to get back, once I go raid my storage and I have another storage that has all that. And I'm gonna definitely get doing some canning again. Canning on the road is perfect, you know. Do I have nausea in the beginning with fasting? I can't seem to manage it. Maybe a little bit, like on like right in the beginning, but you know, like, so I usually prefer the dry fasting, and then what I do is, like, even if in the case that I'm water fasting, I'll try to like keep it to like one, like just in the morning or something, or in the morning and at night. But the first day I usually have is just sip water in increments throughout the day, just to like do like the first day flush that I call it, just because, you know, and to get really hydrated, because the reason why you can dry fast, you know, for, again, I'm not a medical professional, but like, you know, I haven't gotten this far, but I believe that you can do it for like over a week safely. But if you were eating food throughout that week, you would not survive a week without water. Do you know what I'm saying? Because, or maybe you would, I don't know, but like it would be so much harder on your body, because the main thing that your body uses water for, like you sweat a bit, you know, to cool off. But besides that, you know, it's really just you detoxing your blood, right? Is where you lose a lot of the water. And that mostly is from things you eat and things you drink. So if you're not eating or drinking anything, then your body doesn't have anything to detox, and so you're not really losing that much water, just a little bit that you sweat. So that I like to, that first day, while I still have food in my system, to just sip a little bit of water throughout the whole day and try to drink maybe even a whole gallon, just to get maximum hydration, and also to, you know, just flush out a little bit extra. And then I kick into whatever, be it full dry fast, or if I'm gonna have water, then I'll just try to go as long as possible between whenever I have water from that point. Pumpkins, they require a lot of sandy soil. Well, I have to bring in some sand, some pumpkins rolling. Let's see. I see your Insta wondering if you're retired from the corn business. I am pretty much retired. I'm not, you know, yeah, I would say I'm retired. If the perfect situation came along, I might do something, but it would have to be like in alignment with whatever else I was doing. You know, if I'm like in a situation where I'm feeling really, you know, charged in other ways, I probably would not take even a good situational scene. But if I was in a situation where I felt like I had an overabundance of energy or whatever, I might use that as an outlet if there was a perfect situation, if that makes sense. No plans right now. No plans for it. Melindy says, hey Bruce, I hope you're doing well. I missed the last live and I'm having some connection troubles today, but I'm still sending positive vibes for a great stream. Thank you, Melindy. That is beautiful, and thank you so much. I hope that... Is anyone else having connection issues? I haven't had too many disconnects, so I hope it's okay. Yeah, vegetables are fun to grow. Let's see. Did you read Women Who Run with the Wolves by Clarissa Pinkola? I have not read that. I've not heard of it, but it has an interesting title. I like wolves. Millie Sanchez says, I envy everyone who can do that and has a green thumb. Franquita and her cats have been killing all of her houseplants. Let's see. Wind Warrior says, Did you have any countries where you felt unsafe before? Did anything crazy ever happen to you while you're riding? Well, fuck, I hate to throw any fuel on the fire, but I'll tell you what, you know what the country was that I felt the most unsafe ever? Was actually France. I was in Marseille once in France, and fuck, I mean, I couldn't get out of there fast enough. I was like, this is a really sketchy place. But let me see. I don't know, not really. I mean, I don't know. Well, yeah, there was one time when I booked an Airbnb in the center of Bucharest, but I actually booked it, like, I didn't realize that the center of Bucharest was not being in the center of Bucharest was like not a positive thing. So it was kind of like a rough area. So that was I wouldn't say that I felt so much unsafe personally, but I felt like I ended up like staying in my apartment a lot and like not doing a lot of stuff I wanted to do because I was afraid more of the apartment getting robbed when I wasn't there. So I wanted to, hold it down. But besides that, not really. There was this time when I was like on this bull ranch in Tlaxcala once in Mexico that I felt a little unsafe, but it wasn't because of like people or anything. It was because there was like literally like these crazy like killer bulls everywhere, and these were like bulls that were like literally like bred for bullfighting. So they were like, you like couldn't let the bull see you. They would just have these bulls wandering around. And yeah, you just, if they're like out there, you like can't go out. You just gotta wait until they like mosey on, and then you can go outside because the bull might get you. But that's country life, I guess. Second wind. Joe's doing some canning. That's good. Second Winds says, I meditate a lot, get down when I have to come back to reality. Sometimes life is really good, but my inner world is incredible. Do you ever feel down coming back to reality after meditation? Yeah, I definitely get that, especially after like a really big upgrade or a really big breakthrough. Like, for me, it's like it gets a little longer each time, and I hope that eventually it becomes like a permanent thing. But I stay really like deeply connected and vibing really high for like a while after one of those really big things happen. And yeah, it feels a little bit weird sometimes once it starts dwindling off. You're like, if it's a little bit discouraging, but at this point I've noticed a pattern, and I just take it as means that it's time to start fasting and start meditating more, start doing more yoga, start just keep working on the body. I really, my peace of mind and all that, like, is pretty locked in. But, yeah, some of those highs are just so high that it's definitely noticeable when you even if you don't go all the way back to the ground, it's noticeable when you lose altitude a little bit. I don't know if I would say that I was down about it, but I definitely miss the feeling of being up, when it's not as up. Joe Lucas says digesting food requires water. As a production of blood plasma, you can go maybe 4 days without water. You could definitely do more than 4 days if you're not eating, though. I'm almost positive. Maybe not. I could be wrong. I'm gonna try. First, I gotta get the 4. Supposedly, if you can go 11, it's like does something. Something happens around 9 to 11 days. Let's see. Many chances, level it happens. I don't have any pets that recently moved and wish I had more space. Do I want to share my experiences while staying in Mexico? Oh, I have so much experiences in Mexico. I've had all kinds. I probably have a year and a half in Mexico altogether. The first time I was on that bull ranch, I was shooting for an art film, and then that was an interesting experience. I got to spend some time in Mexico City as well too, so it was a good introduction to Mexico, because it was like the real Mexico. You know, it was like, it was definitely an experience. But you know, I lived in Tulum like 9 months. I did like 3 trips back to back, or 4 trips. I forgot how it was like broken up a little bit. I came back for like a few weeks at a time in between, and then that was throughout the whole pandemic and everything. That was, you know, it was definitely a life-changing experience. And yeah, then I just, you know, I stayed in Puerto Vallarta for a while too, and I joined a chess club. I was the chess champ of Puerto Vallarta. So yeah, but the most interesting thing was definitely the bull ranch. I was like riding horses, and you know, would wake up every morning, like, you know, go to like the hall to eat breakfast. It was like, and same thing at night. It was like it was literally like a big ranch from like the 1600s or something like that, like super old. And I like had my own like little cottage like out in the bull pasture. It was pretty crazy, and they just grew mezcal and raised fighting bulls out there. It was really honestly, it was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. Like you know, I can't really go into details about the whole thing because it's like a non-disclosure thing with the movie, but the experience in Mexico was awesome on the ranch. So yeah, just really incredible. Didn't even have, there was like no cell service out there or anything. It was like, I don't know, it was like, and at that time, that was really before you know, I'd only traveled to Europe at that point. So it was a really interesting experience. I want to do more, you know, exploring like that, see some more like rural spots in Mexico, but also in other places, even here in the States. No way, welcome. Brenda's here. Welcome, Brenda. She says, how's you, Bruce? Hope you're having a good Friday so far. Hi, everyone. Hello. Millie Sanchez says, do you recognize by your fans wherever you go? Have you taken pictures of fans? You know, that used to happen a lot when I had short hair. But, you know, I don't really have, like our little group here of, you know, and there was probably some on Instagram that don't realize that what happened. They just, you know, I disappeared one day and they never seen me again. But you know, my streaming fans are like a smaller group, you know. There's probably a few thousand altogether of people who are more fans of the streaming thing, but you know, compared to like the billion people that watch my other work, you know, I'm more or less like undercover when I'm looking like this. You know, 99% of them wouldn't recognize me in this form. You know what I'm saying? I've got to trim it up. And then I go, then it doesn't matter where I go, it's everywhere. In every country even. Which is part of the reason why, it's not the only reason, but it's part of the reason why, you know, I've changed my appearance, because it's actually, in some ways, it's pretty cool because you get a lot of perks. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll hook you up places and everything's cool like that. But it's lame in another sense because everyone likes to, like, you know, everyone's paying attention everywhere you go, and you can't, it's like you just don't really have privacy to be like a normal person. So, overall, I would say the negatives outweigh the perks. So it's better to be in disguise, for sure. Have I ever been to a Scandinavian country? I've been to Oslo. And I mean, I've also, I don't know, I guess, well, I would say Latvia is more of a Slavic country, but I've spent more time in Latvia. I spent just a couple days in Norway, but I had one really fun day in Norway, so I count it on my list of countries that I've visited because I got to know it well for at least a night. But I would like to go back there. You know, if I ever, you know, feel like I can. Norway is definitely the most expensive place I've ever been. But whenever I'm ready to go back and eat some $26 hamburgers, I'm there for sure. Let's see. Magic says November in Mexico City, Chiapas, or Oaxaca for Dia de los Muertos is amazing. Awesome. Yeah, you know, I definitely am looking forward to checking out. I'm super interested about southern Mexico as well. Yeah, Oaxaca especially. I want to eat the mushrooms in Oaxaca. I heard they're good ones. Let's see. Millie Sanchez says, I remember when you were in a live and you were staying in a place where I guess your neighbor's kid was crying. That was a while ago. Oh yeah, that was in Cozumel. That was an interesting story. So I didn't tell anybody that I was in Cozumel when I was there because it was an island and it would just be too easy to find me. It was, you know what I mean? Like if you went to you know, it's like if you wandered around looking for me long enough, eventually you probably would find me there. So I was like undercover, but I had this little I rented this house. I originally rented it for 6 months, but I changed it to just 1 month. But I stayed in this little house, like it was in like a little local neighborhood. Um, it was an interesting experience as well. It was fun though. I liked it. But yeah, there was like a neighborhood. There was like I had to. It was. It wasn't a tourist situation. The neighbors were living their best lives, which wasn't always perfect for streaming. um, let's see. Billy Sanchez says, I haven't seen you, but happened to logged in here and saw you were live. So happy to see you. I wish you were more active on TikTok. You know what? I probably am going to. I won't be live. I'm going to keep my lives here, but soon I'm going to start working on the shorts thing. So I'll upload those everywhere. So at least there'll be, you know, highlights on TikTok. Let's see. Proax says Mexico City, Tulum, Playa del Rey. Oh yeah, I've been to Playa del Carmen as well. I spent time in Cancun also. Spent a few months in Cancun. Mexico is awesome, honestly. It's got everything, but you know, I haven't been to. Well, I actually have. I was in the mountains of Mexico. Like, there's no. Let me tell you something. I mean, maybe it's a desert thing. Like we got amazing sunsets in Vegas also, but the ones in the mountains of Mexico like are a trip. It's a trip. It looks like it's like the sky is like breaking open when the sun sets up there. Something about being near the equator and it setting over the mountains or something like that. I don't know what it is, but it hits hard. But yeah, I want to visit Hallbosch. I've been interested in that. Never been there. Maya says, oh damn, I miss Mexico too. Maybe it was just the weather and the white beaches, or I was young and unafraid. How long has it been since you've been to Mexico, Maya? I know, everyone's missing Mexico. Let's roll. What are you doing? You left to Florida? Millie. That sucks. No, I'm just kidding. Florida's alright. It's okay. It's okay. True, at Norway, so freaking expensive. Yeah, it's like too much. It's too much. I mean, I don't know. I guess if you're on that level, it's all good, but it's just like, you know. It's not good, you know, our weak American dollars are just no good there. What can I say? Do I know my ancestry? According to my last name was Portugal, Spain. Well, that's a good guess, but there's a whole story that goes into that. My last name is Portuguese, but I'm not ethnically Portuguese. I'm Scandinavian, German, and Scottish mostly. Some other European stuff mixed, to a lesser extent. A little. The Oaxaca mushrooms, yes, that'll be good. Zipper light. Let's see. Joe Lucas says, last time I was in Mexico was just before 9/11. I was in the 4th grade. We went to Cancun and went on tours of Mayan ruins. Yeah, you know, I wish I would have done more of the touristy kind of stuff when I was there. But I was just, you know, um, yeah, I was just chilling on the beach, doing stuff. But you know, I miss that. You know, it's really like, honestly, I liked both Tulum and Puerto Vallarta so much in different ways that it's also like it's hard to decide like where to go. It's like the shortest drive would be to probably to Puerto Vallarta would be a way shorter drive, but the drive to Tulum, and also too like just I just noticed I had like a lot more problems with the cops in Quintana Roo than I did in Jalisco driving around. So, but I mean, there's a lot of land in between here and there, but I just hope that the whole East Coast isn't, you know, like that. Because the West Coast seemed way more relaxed. The East Coast over there it's more, the ocean's more, is warm, and you know, there's some way cool things. There's the ruins and all that, but the police are like, at least when I was there last time, was out of control. They just, you know. In Jalisco, it's like, you know, like I got out of a ticket for like a couple of Starbucks coffees. In Quintana Roo, it was like I had to pay the fee for existing. Maya, your autocorrect, by the way. Just saying. Yeah, they're still going crazy over there. Yeah, you know, that's like, there's a, you know, everywhere's got its thing, but sadly, that's the thing there, you know. Everyone always wants to ask about the cartels, but the cartels haven't bothered me at all. But the police definitely, they get you every time. Just saying, it's just an observation. I'm not taking a side or anything. Alright, you guys, I did the whole chat. What's up? What do you guys want to talk about? Please get you for legitimate things? Well, there was times when there was legitimate things, and I'll tell you this. Okay, so here's the like the good side of it is, you know, there's times when I was actually breaking some kind of traffic law or something, and you know, the price to get out of it is way lower than what a ticket would be in the States, and there'd be no way out of it, you know. So while that might be like 1 in 5 times that you get pulled over, you were actually doing something, all 5 fees that you would pay still would probably be less than 1 ticket in the States. So it's a lot more tempting to, you know, drive how you would want to drive or whatever. Because you know, it kind of you got to cost average down, since you're gonna get pulled over anyways. You might as well just do what you want to do, you know, because the fee is more or less the same if you were doing something as if you're not doing anything. So you got, because yeah, you got to pay the Gringo tax. So you might as well drive how you want, since you're gonna pay the tax either way. Is basically what I'm saying. Mexican memories make me happy. Yeah, it does. It's true. Yeah, I'm ready to go. You know, I'm gonna go liquidate the storage so that I don't really have to think too hard about it, because I like to be spontaneous. You know what I mean? Like maybe I decide. You know, like right now I could be in Mexico in like 4 hours. No problem. Maybe 5. So. I like that, you know, I like the idea of being able to just go and not have to come back for anything. Freaky says, yeah, and if Bruce was okay, if somebody like from the streams would ask for a selfie with him, no finger would be having me. Oh, I've taken so many pictures with people. I never say no. Unless, like, actually I did say no a couple times, but when I was like, you know, hung over the Vegas airport, like, you know, all, you know, looking like I had been doing everything that I'd just been doing. Like, things like that. I definitely probably have said no. But for the most part, if I looked remotely human, I usually say yes. You hope to run into me one day. What airline do I usually travel? Well, I don't have a loyal airport anymore, but airline. I used to travel Southwest, truth be told, mostly. You know, I do a little JetBlue if I'm on the East Coast. You know, they're really good for Florida things. And then internationally, I used to always fly Norwegian. Which was mostly an overwhelmingly good experience, and I really recommended them a lot until a couple of things happened, which were fucking horrible. So I don't know. I would maybe give them another shot, but or I don't even know if they still exist. Maybe they don't. But yeah, did a lot of flying in Norwegian. I think maybe they changed the name of it or something. But they had really nice jets. They were, and the flights are a little shorter. They're fast. Magic says, if there's a Spanish-speaking person in the caravan. Yeah, no, we need, oh yeah, exactly. That's what we need. Yeah, that's true. We just need a caravan in general. It's hard to imagine if we had a caravan that nobody would speak Spanish. Somebody would for sure. We need like a solid train. That way when we get like pulled over and the cops are like, what the fuck's going on? There's like, you know, 6 cars pull over instead of 1. Let's see. Driving Mexico is crazy. Love how people don't stop or everybody signs. Yeah, but see, I like that. I see, that's a negative for other people, but like, see that for me, I'm like, this is how the world should be. You know what I mean? I don't want to be so tightly controlled by signs. You know, I don't like it that, like, you know, have you ever seen like the experiment where, like, you know, they draw the circle around the ants and they won't cross the ink or whatever? They just keep going back and forth. They're like trapped. That's how I feel. I feel like that when I'm driving. There's paint everywhere. You're like, you drive over this line, we're gonna tax you. Don't do it. It's just paint, but you know, or when you're like sitting at a red light at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's like hell of long, and there's literally nobody. You never see a single car, just you by yourself, wasting your time sitting at a red light. Has anyone ever, maybe you've never been there, but I've been there a lot. And every time I'm just like, what is going on? This is so dystopian. There's a light. I can't go. I'm held back. It's holding me back. How did we come to this? Oh, second one says, thank you for talking about your angel. Mine died 10 years ago, but it's the greatest relationship I've ever had. Do you think it's possible to have had true love in the realm? For sure, I think it's possible. I think that I don't know exactly how it works for everybody, but I think it's like my whole reason for existence. I'm just chasing the love over and over and over again. Like I'm supposed to be learning, and I learned. But like for me, it was all about the chase. I learned because I had to, but I chased because I wanted to. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to refine that love over and over and over again. Even if I even see a little hint of that love, just a fractal of it glimmering somewhere, I just want to just grab hold of it, love it down, just for a little bit. One piece at a time, you know. Sandra says, Greece and Cyprus, stop signs and traffic lights are considered a recommendation. Exactly. That's way better. I've driven in Cyprus as well. It's on the opposite side, which makes it even crazier. So you're driving on the left side, but you've never driven on the left side, but nobody listens to the traffic signs or anything like that. But they have these big ass roundabouts everywhere. So every time you're coming for the roundabout, you're like going the opposite way of how you normally are, but so is everyone else. But you're like, all right, I'm gonna do this. Yeah, it's fun. Good times in Cyprus. Had a lot of interesting experiences in Cyprus. Okay, so as we get pulled over by a cop in the U.S., they ask, do you know why I pulled you over? Because that's the first question in German and Austrian caps. And the correct answer is no. Yeah, they do that here too. They usually be like, do you know why I pulled you over? And then they'll be like, do you know how fast you're going? And they just keep it, and then they'll be like, do you have anything illegal in the car? Do you have a weapon? They'll just keep asking you questions. You know. Let's see. Yeah, driving, the cool thing about it also though is if it's a little crazy driving is, driving's not for everybody. Some people are not good drivers, and they should be scared. You know what I'm saying? They should be if they're not, if you ain't good, get on the bus. Get out of the way. These roads are for the grown folks. No, I'm just kidding. But, there's definitely some people that shouldn't be driving. They're out there. They shouldn't be. He was made for the Mexican life. Crazy driving, amazing fruit all year. I'm feeling it. Trust me, I do well over there. That's the other thing. This is what the main thing that's called, the main thing that I want to be, one of the main reasons why I would like to be back is like, I don't like to wear shirts or shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like the dress. I like the, you know, the attire required attire. I like it to be like swim trunks. And I still do that sometimes, but I shouldn't. And it's not normal. People, you know what I'm saying? People think it's weird, but in Mexico, it's not weird at all. You're just like, you know, you actually look more normal. You look more local if you just got swim trunks on. It's just swim trunks and flip-flops, you know, you're good. It's obvious you got nothing interesting. It's like, you know, life is, you're free like that. That's the best. And especially in Tulum. In Tulum, you know, I can have my long hair, my dreadlocks. Nobody's gonna look at me twice. I'm just another, you know, just another dirty gringo. What's the gov holding you back? Soul of a poet. I tried to be poetic, but it was mostly just my soul. My tongue couldn't follow. Magic says, yeah, it's divine love, unconditional in another realm until you see it in the flesh. It's true. I would like to see it in the flesh, though. I want to do so much stuff to it. I just want to, like, consume it. Hungry. I'm hungry. You probably didn't see it in the question, so I'll try again. Would you consider writing your memoirs? That the whole point of my life, the reason why I get away with doing everything that I do, the thing that has always given me the courage, gave me the courage to go into the business and do what I did for a decade, the thing that gave me the courage to, you know, do so many things. Gamble, etc., is the memoirs. I'm always banking on the memoirs. You know, like, they can, you know, I've said this before, but I'll say it again, like, you don't really own nothing in this world. You know what I'm saying? Like, even our financial system is very fragile. You know, most people don't even diversify their assets at all, if they even have assets. Up to a certain level. I mean, of course, people that have a lot of money have done that to some extent. But, you know, the average person does not. They just have their fiat currency and that's all they got. So, and a lot are it's even worse because they're mostly on credit. So they're working against interest and inflation. But I have been investing, and this isn't a brag, I'm just saying, is that my school of thought for many, many, many years now, even actually before I got out of prison, was that my experiences are a store of value. Okay? And so that's because I wrote my first book there and I realized I had a writing talent, and this is before, you know, the invent of YouTube and all these wonderful inventions of technology and outlets for these type of creative streams. But just having realized that I had a writing talent made me realize that all my experiences were now a store of value, because, you know what I'm saying, I obviously can store them in my brain, You know, they can't be replicated or plagiarized or what do you call it, counterfeited. But you know, as with any kind of alternative assets, maybe people who have delved into crypto or done some trading understand this, is that you have to be able to cash out. You know, you could buy something and maybe, you know, there's a spread. So it's how wide is the spread? If you, something's only worth something if somebody else is willing to buy it. So like, in trading it's called volume. It means like how much actual transactions of that asset are being conducted. And the spread is like how big is the difference between the buy and the ask. You know what I'm saying? So the more narrow the spread, the more intrinsic value that you have, right? So you need a way to cash it out. So once I realized I could write, I realized I had a way to cash it out. Now, whether or not whatever the value is that I'm going to get, we don't know. But it's still there. So it's always been about the memoirs. And I consider actually doing a liquidation of some of that, like now, because not because the story's over or because I'm going to stop living like that, but because I forget things. And so that's kind of like I'm losing part of my value. You know what I'm saying? Because it was always about the memoirs, but yet memory is imperfect. And I probably have already forgot more things than the most people that work like a 9 to 5 and retire after 30 or 40 years or whatever is the normal thing, ever do, like experientially wise with living. It's not a brag, it's just like an observation. So like if I could get like 10% of my forgotten memories would be like the greatest story ever told. But I remember a lot more than that, so it's still going to be a good story. But I'm just saying is like 10% of the things that I ever forgot in my life would be like, they'd just blow anyone's mind. Just whole, just brains gone, blown. So it's happening. It's going to happen. I'm going to write the story. The memoirs are coming in hot. Don't even worry about it. Driving is fun the most on a motorcycle. I don't do motorcycles, but Frankita has rode the whole Route 66 alone about 20 years ago and wasn't pulled over once. Well, it's way harder to pull over somebody on a motorcycle. You know, that's like when I have a fast car, which I don't right now, but when I have a fast car, like, you know, my theory is if I'm going over 140, I don't watch the rearview mirror. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't worry about what's going on behind me. They're not going to catch me anyways, so it doesn't fucking matter. Let's see. Freya says, I'll give you lessons. 2 crazy chicks on the road going Thelma and Louise. Yeah, see, they don't know about Thelma and Louise. But that was an epic movie that changed lives. A lot of people did things they wouldn't have done if it wasn't for Thelma and Louise. It was a great movie. Noy says, I also ride a motorcycle. Did a 100-kilometer trip several times, but it was a bit tiring. That was amazing. That is amazing. Oh, they tried to hide my girl. So they tried to hide you, Magic, for saying dirty gringo. A white skin. Yeah, exactly. Throw in my swim trunks. They'll never know the difference. Frankita says, Noi Ibrahim, or says, Noi, you go on a road trip, Millie me then. Oh shit. We got the biker posse is forming. You guys are gonna be caravanned up before I find a caravan. I'm gonna have to come find you and join your caravan. Oh yeah, lots of bathroom breaks. Oh yeah, see that's always, I think about that also too. I'm just like, I would love to have a little thing in the passenger seat besides Sam. But yeah, I don't know if I could tolerate the I'm saying we'd have to figure out something about the pee thing. I would hate to be on the road having to pee all the time. Not being able to. That would be terrible. That's tough. You gotta practice your squat. Ever done a meet and greet event with my fans? I did a meet and greet in New York. And then like people came, but nobody came and talked to me. They just they like all just like DM'd me after I left. There was like a ton of people that like went, but like nobody like actually like came up and like said hello until then afterwards. I like ran into like more people that were there, and then they told me that they were there and like were scared to say anything or something. And long story short, I ended up making friends with these like 3 chicks. They were cool, but it was at a different location afterwards where I was like sitting there literally, and aside from them, a bunch of other people DM'd me as well that were there and didn't say anything. So it was like really weird. Like people were like went and then like were too scared to say hi to me. I don't know. Very strange. It was in Manhattan. When Warrior says, yes, I would love to read your memoir. It would be especially fascinating, even more than traditional celebrities, because there's so much mystery around your former career. You know what? Not even that, but like that was. I didn't. I kept it secret, like everything else that I was doing. I was doing a lot of other stuff too that was interesting besides the adult stuff. Like I was gambling. I was playing poker, and like I'm like a really crazy craps player, like, and I was just like lurking around in Vegas like at night, playing poker while my girlfriend was dancing. Like it was like we were just like, there was piles of money, big ones. Like it was cool. It was pretty cool. I ate all every restaurant in Vegas. It was, slept all day, got up at 6 p.m. to have my coffee to start the lurk. It was a crazy experience. And there was other stuff too, like the travels and stuff. Like I thought I would, it's weird. Like I lost a lot of like photos and stuff when I got robbed in Ibiza. But I also just was in the moment a lot of the time and didn't take photos and stuff. And when I was doing all the gambling and stuff, like it was like a lot of that happened, not all of it, but I like changed strategies at some point once I got robbed in Ibiza. I was like thinking like I didn't want anyone to know that I was walking around doing, what I'm saying? I didn't want to be a target, so I just like reinvented everything as like a super low profile, and you know, instead of being like all fancy looking, I was trying to be as, it was like the precursor to what we're doing now, except for now I really don't have shit. No. So it was an easy adaptation. Let's see, Millie says rinse and repeat. Let's see, Joe Lucas says we have Bitcoin ATMs over here in my hometown. Are they common elsewhere? I've been seeing them around. I think Bitcoin might have some action. It's just that I feel like they're going to eventually crack the code, with the quantum computing, and that's the only thing that kind of like is a cooler for me on the Bitcoin thing. Lindy says, "Oh, my apologies, Bruce. I didn't explain correctly before. Connection issues are on your side, and it's my phone, and you're good as always." Awesome. Thank you for clarifying that. Maya says, home come, I become badass and good ass in a matter of a second. Get my compliment back. Suspension. Mine from another realm was very bad, but he is everything. Thank you for not making me feel weird, being open about love experience. My skin starts crawling when he wants to connect. Yeah, that's like, it's a good point. It's something that it's something we don't talk about a lot in spiritual stuff, especially, you know, um, it's already super hard to navigate the religious um, uh, zealot kind of people, when we're talking about spirituality from a more holistic point of view rather than a religious one. But part of this process, on the way to connecting with God, you're becoming more receptive in general, and you will encounter a lot of different spirits, and they're not all bad. And as a matter of fact, I think most of them are good. And what's even more important is to realize good, bad, or indifferent, whatever these spirits are, those spirits are all part of God. And just in the same way that we're different parts of God that are interacting with each other towards our, on our path towards perfection and divinity, it's the same with those other entities. And some of them don't look like us, and some of them don't think like us, but definitely, just there's no reason to necessarily to fear them, because even if you were in a situation with something that wasn't good natured, fear would only empower that. And so just, try to love everything for what it is, which is a part of God. Let's see. I don't drive moto. Not I don't. I do but I can do big vehicles. I can drive the RV. But you guys will have to be the moto posse. I like this, actually. I like this as a good idea. You know, I think I think the caravan should happen. I would like to have, like, I think it would be so cool to have a caravan. Like, what if you had, like, you know, I think would be awesome is to have a caravan that was so well developed that there was, like, a greenhouse trailer. You know what I mean? Like, we could tow a greenhouse, like a smaller one, like one that's, like, you know, like a 40-footer, and have all of our fruits and veggies growing in there. Just tow it around with us. Part of our. See, I've really thought about this. You could do the whole. We could bring the garden with us. You know. We could buy a water truck. Just have our own truck full of water. Be sick. You can buy the book. There's gonna be a lot of. It's gonna be a series. See, that's what I was thinking about. Instead of doing the book, we're already doing like this kind of stuff. Like, why not do like a series of books? You know, that way I can go in really deep instead of trying to fucking write something that's going to be 2,000, 3,000 pages or whatever. I could just do like some little. Someone teach me how to drive a motorcycle. It won't be me. Or is that a tractor? I can't really see my. I think it's a motorcycle. You're talking 140 miles per hour, kilometers per hour. Miles per hour, bro. No, it's not. Sorry, Frankie. I didn't mean to call you bro. Miles per hour, sis. You just forget about the review. Don't even worry about it. Max, welcome. Ooh, Maya and Magic are getting steamy over here. Maya's got to smoke a cigarette. They're talking. I don't know what they were talking about, but something happened. I don't know. I'm kind of like feeling some tension. Good tension. It's thick. I'm just kidding. Billy Sanchez, are you serious? I don't know what I was talking about. Probably. I might be. Hilarious. Oh, you guys are talking about the meet and greet? Yeah, it's funny, right? Does that happen? People meeting or recognizing on the street but not approaching you, just awkward staring? Yeah, that happens, but what happens a lot is, well, first off, yeah, it definitely happens a lot where, like, I know that they know and they don't say anything, but it also happens a lot where, like, they'll just DM me on Instagram or something afterwards. They'll be like, I was in the elevator with you, or, oh, I seen you here, or da-da-da, I didn't want to, oh, I was doing this, but I was with my dad. Didn't want to, you know what I mean? It's really embarrassing. Like, I don't know, it's like, I've gotten a ton of messages like that. Peter says, yep, started writing when I was 12, and dad wrote professionally for almost 20 years. Oh, wow. You're still with your girlfriend? Who? Me? That's gotta be about somebody else. If it's about me, no. Definitely, I haven't. I've been solo dolo for well over a year now. Madura, welcome. Category D vehicles, Boney. Vegan heart, what happened? One for the motor group. Joe Lucas was my major was in sustainable living in MIU. We learned how to maintain greenhouses and build tiny homes. Sounds like a combination of two skills. She's got a portable greenhouse. There you go, Joe. I'm telling you, man. It doesn't have to be complicated. We got all the skills right here. I got the whole I got a whole storage room full of farming equipment. Mobile, all we need is a trailer. I can even pull it. We could. That would be like, how awesome would that be? That we could be the rolling farm all the way. Magic, magic. You gotta make up your mind. You're gonna take Joe and Maya. Oh man. Anyways, yeah, that'd be cool. All the way to Argentina. It'd be hard to ship the farm across the Darien Gap. We'd have to. But they got some pretty good. They got. I mean, I'm pretty sure, and I'm not sure how it works. I was researching Costa Rica though, and they were like, the thing about it is, if you buy land in Costa Rica, you can't leave your land unattended because people can just go like set up camp on it and they like live there and it becomes their land. But you know, that means also maybe we could just go park the farm out there in Costa Rica and it's all good. I'm not sure how that works, but yeah, 2x4s and some plexiglass. I think I got some plexiglass actually. There you go. Volunteer for cooking, but vegan only. I'm cool with it. I don't know how you feel about milk. It's been a long time since I've eaten any meat. I definitely, though, like, I love some cow titty. I'm not even gonna lie. I gotta have my cheese, my milk, my kefir. And chickens also too. Like, there's got to be I feel like a roving chicken coop is also cool on a trailer. They're extra good because you can just, like, if you make it with the screen bottom, you just kind of move the cart a little bit at a time. It enriches the soil, where it's like regenerative farming. Yeah, I don't eat the chickens at all. That was actually my big problem, is that I bought a bunch of big things of chicks, and sometimes they don't sex them right, and you end up with a couple roosters, and then next thing you know, you got like a bazillion chickens. So it's better to just buy pullets, so that you know that they're gonna be female. Yeah, the land has to be occupied for like a certain amount of time. Yeah, like I don't know how long you're allowed to leave for, but it's like there's some kind of rule to that. Which I was like, I thought it was like a kind of like a downer at the time, but if we're talking about bringing the rolling farm, totally different. No, I'm just kidding. Would that be something? Well, the cool thing down there is that you don't even have to set up irrigation. I don't think it just rains so much that you just like what I was thinking, and I can't believe that they haven't done this. Like, they should have done this throughout the whole world. But the whole like agroforestry thing, is really interesting. You know what I'm saying? Like, in places like that, I think it's like cool to just like incorporate and help proliferate like the local fruits and stuff that just grow naturally. Can we rotate for visa purposes? You're sharing the vision now. Totally. I'm also a visa rotator. Ultimately, that's like the big appeal with Argentina, is that you can get a visa. It's the fastest path to nationalization anywhere, and I would love to have a second passport. But yeah, in the meantime, We just run we just run the visas. That's why Mexico's interesting though, is because it's really lenient. They give you pretty much everybody 6 months, and it's an easy reset. I'm not sure, but yeah, the roving, the caravan could be cool. Oh, the RV got stolen? Yeah, that sucks. You gotta like pay some people to live there, or like let some people. Here in Iowa, the chicken sexing is a bit more accurate since we run a simple pinprick blood checks. Oh, that's a good idea. That's cool. Yeah, it sucks when you get a couple of roosters in your bag, in your bunch. You're like, what do I do? I can't kill him. Next thing you know, you got unbridled chicken breeding everywhere. Even if you try to gather all the eggs, they always sneak one past you. Every once in a while, you'll just hear that little chirp. You'll be like, damn it, they hatched another one. You're not good at farming, Noi? You help with the carpentry to defend the cows, goats, and chickens and ducks? Not anymore, but maybe you'll start farming. Yeah, we need to see. I need some goats. You know what I mean? Somebody's got to milk the goats. You know what I mean? Gotta have. You're like Khajiit trader. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. We're like like the little, like the old school like wagons style, but new school. We just get a fleet. Eventually, and just like Noi said, she knows carpentry. I'm also used to make cabinets, so I'm decent carpenter. We just get a hold of pretty much anything, and we just turn it into a, whatever. Eventually we can have it all. Buses, trailers, mobile greenhouses, water truck. Eventually we could be like a whole city on wheels. Can you imagine? A city on wheels? We could be like a circus without the circus. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'd just be like our own circus. We just show up. You know what I'm saying? Like a circus style, but throw up a tent, but nobody's allowed in except for us. No, we let people in. They can come in. We could go feed people. That would be awesome. We can just go places and it would be like a circus, but instead of a circus, we'll just go and have like a massive vegetarian banquet. Maya's gonna milk the goats, but not the human goats. Damn it. Why were you raised on a farm? You can literally do all that. Well, see, you were going, your whole life was on your way for this, Joe. We get you a Class A license, and this is what it was all about. We're gonna be the first mobile farm. That's awesome. I'll give my Class A, no problem. Then we could really do it. Something like a double trailer. Be awesome. Greenhouse. Eventually we could just have like one car that's just like it's like our battery car, you know, like we could pull one of those generators, big ass generator, one of them diesel ones that have like solar panels built in and the battery inside of it, fucking spotlights that extend up. Just be like, be awesome. Mobile city. Oh yeah, we build the trailer somewhere where they got the good soil for sure. You know, that's actually genius too, because you know we could always like switch out the crops too. You know what I mean? Like we could do something. Like we don't have to. Well, it would be nice to have one trailer full of trees, but you know the other stuff too. Like yeah, once our soil gets depleted, we just push it out, and just re-up. We can get some volcanic Costa Rican once we get there. Oh. I think it's good. You know, it's actually such an awesome idea that we it would actually probably make could be a big hit on the socials as well. People love the farmsteading content. Can you imagine the mobile farmstead? Like our farm might just come. We'd probably get invites. We'd probably be like, it's probably a bunch of people that'd be like, wow, we're such big fans. Why don't you come park on our land here in Alaska or whatever? And we'd be like, oh yeah, cool, we'll come park in Alaska. Like, damn, all of our crops died, but we'll have to order some food with all of our YouTube money. Oh wow, I didn't know that about so Joe says Iowa is the only place on earth aside from a small region in China where lowest soil can be found. It's ideal for soil for most farming operations. You know, I stayed a summer in Iowa when I was a kid. It's actually pretty nice out there in the summer. I know it's pretty cold in the winter though. I'm sure if you grew up there, it's, you know, you get tired of seeing corn, but if you're from California, it's pretty interesting actually. See the project Bruce trip from India? Yeah, see that's honestly that would be ideal. So, you know, I've already actually thought about this because I talked to somebody else that does it like this. Is like, you know, when you're doing the mobile life, if you still want to be international, you know, it's such a cost-effective life, especially if you're not making payments on the cars. You know, if you're just outright cashing out the vehicles, that you just sprinkle them around so that you have one on each major landmass. You know, and then if you got to go park it, you park whatever you're not using, and you just go fly to your other vehicle, and then you're back in mobile mode. So just we could take over the world like this. If the you know, it gets big enough, you know, you just keep you'll have multiple encampments like running at a time. You know, if you're just doing it solo, you got to park it. But if you had like an organization, you could just be like multiple camps could be going. We are joking about it. Frankita says we are joking about it right now. It might actually be something for the future with wars and global warming and shit. You know, Frankita, that's actually interesting you say that, because this is my exact theory. Now, I don't talk about this much because I don't want to be, you know, the harbinger of doomsday stuff, but I always think about it all the time. Like, for those people that don't have a bunker to fall back on with everything going on, you know, the spiritual nomads are like at the front of the, you know, survival line, because nothing really changes for us other than, like, you know, if there's radiation and violence and stuff like that going around. But, you know, living wise, we're already set up. We just get away from the cities, we're good to go. And the other thing is, spiritually, being an advanced faster is game changer in the apocalypse. While everyone else is panicking after the second or third day without food and they're ready to go fight and die for food, you can just be meditating and like sipping water for a month in the woods, not worrying about it, waiting for everything to boil over, burn out. You know, you're already ready. Just switch to fat consumption mode and you just go inward, conserve calories. The spiritual people are going to survive just off that alone. YouTube money to feed people in need. This is what I'm saying. Once the YouTube money is going, we're just literally feeding the world at that point. You know what I mean? We could just be like literally mobile farms everywhere. Imagine that. We're just YouTubing and it's just streaming live. People are watching the plants grow at that point. Watching us feed the world. Be amazing. Now we only got 7 people here. They're like, no more talk of changing the world. It's fine keeping vice grip on everyone's food supply. Mobile farming will never work. I think mobile farming is going to work. Joe, join. Oh yeah, Joe, join the Telegram. Welcome. We need your farming insight 24/7 so we can chat about it. Wind Warrior says, yes, Frankita, these fires in Oregon are insane. I'm looking to escape route when this place gets too burned up. Is there fires there right now? I was almost there right now. I was going to be there. I backed out last minute. Next says, that would be a dream come true. Also, educate people on farming and nutrition. Yes! And regenerative farming. You can teach them, which is so important for nutrition, because, you know what I'm saying? The soil gets depleted and we're not getting our minerals that we're supposed to get. We could, farming Mad Max style. I honestly, you guys, I know this sounds like like it's just like some kind of fictional thing, but honestly, it's already set in stone. Like, there's gonna be a mobile farm. Like, this is part of the goals. One of my biggest, like I said, the main thing I don't want to get rid of is my farming equipment. The main thing that I feel that I'm sacrificing for the mobile dream, for the nomad life. Everything is great in the nomad life, honestly. The only thing that could be better is if you had your own food supply that wasn't tainted. You know what I'm saying? Like, the powers that be have access to our food, even the organic food. Like, I don't trust it. I want to grow it myself. I want to know. I want oil. I want soil that came from Iowa. You know what I'm saying? I want to know that my food was grown in virgin Iowan soil, no matter where I was in the world. You know what I mean? The cleanest of the clean, the goodest of the good, the most nutritious. You know what I mean? I want to amend my soil with all 56 elements that we need to be healthy. I'm tired of eating depleted soil food. I want all my minerals so I can connect with God even deeper. Let's build an area, let's name it Bruce Farm Village, but actually I can take care of farm animals because they won't eat the animals I farm. You know what? There's actually a road in New York called Bruce Porn Road. You can look it up. It exists. We should just go there. It's a nice neighborhood. We can just take over their streets. No, just kidding. Bruce's RV and the Thunderdome. I'm so with it. I actually think this is an amazing idea. You know, they keep going on about climate change and all this stuff. And of course, you know, if there's a huge flood instantly, like we're going to be, you know, we might need to make the RV float. But realistically, you know, the reason why people were nomadic historically, especially in harsh areas, was because it's how you survive. It's how you survive the apocalypse, is you just keep it moving. And there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to use modern technology to build more advanced, awesome nomadic cities. I actually know that it could be awesome because I've seen, like, have you ever seen how they do it with like the Cirque du Soleil and all those stuff? They literally, you know, they have like hundreds of people that work at those things, and they literally, every one of them has an RV, and they go and take over huge lots and set up their whole little RV city, and they run around throwing circuses, making a bunch of money. Well, you know, I mean, we could just take out the circus part, insert so, you know, YouTube, and with our mobile guardian idea, we'd probably end up in all kinds of, you know, because it's a green thing, or even if they decided to debunk us as green, there'd be all kinds of controversy around it. It would be big. It would be big. It's actually totally doable. We just need like some seed funding is what we need. You know what I mean? We need to find somebody that's ready to sell their farm to start a mobile farm. Welcome to Telegram, Joe. Now I'm being too picky with the soil from Iowa. I want at least one car. I want at least one truck full of soil from Iowa. We're taking it with us. We ain't fucking around. We want the best, only the best. Welcome, Todd. You feeling like Tank Girl now? It's alright, you can be Tank Girl. Tank Girl is cool. What master? I'm serious though, you guys. We could feed the world. And we could eat. We could feed ourselves too with nutritious, untainted food. Not only can we feed the world, we can feed the world untainted food, which is something nobody does. Nobody's doing that. People are out there feeding people, but nobody's feeding them organic. We could be like Daenerys from the Game of Thrones. We're gonna free the world of slavery. We'll turn everyone into nomads. I only got 3 people here, so I know what went wrong, but I'm gonna go ahead and call the stream. It's been an hour and 9 minutes. We lost quite a few people. I don't know what went wrong. They weren't sharing the vision, I guess. Maybe my connection is bad, I don't know. It is a very real scenario. In fact, the stuff going on geopolitically with war and stuff is really, really, really concerning. And it's actually something to think about, you know. So another reason, aside from your spirituality, to fast and become good at fasting is that literally it's going to be, you know, you really actually are in such a better position if something bad happens, if you're already accustomed to being able to go a few days without food, than as if you're just suddenly thrust into a chaotic situation and you're starving. Just saying. Let's see. Okay, we got some chatting, even though it's weird because it says there's only 3 people here, but there's more than 3 people talking, so I don't know what's going on. But Ruka says we need to focus on plants with shallow root systems unless we want to lug around a few tons of soil. Average depth is about 18 inches for most crops. So see, it's good. We got a professional here. That's a good point. Focus on shallow root systems. Very good. We definitely don't want to carry around tons of soil. Though, I mean, we could carry around quite a bit if we had, like, eventually, if we, you know, as we grow, figuratively, you know, we would definitely want to get like a nice semi truck or two, because then we could, you know, we wouldn't be so worried about that kind of stuff. I don't know how deep. I guess 18 inches, no problem. But yeah, definitely the weight's gonna add up. We're probably gonna need a semi truck for the mobile farm, anyways. It's the only thing that's gonna handle it. We're gonna need some pretty heavy duty. We need some serious funds, really. Now that you mentioned that. It's not going to be necessarily the most economical farm, but it will be the most mobile one. Context, make the magic happen. Oh yeah, we need the magic to happen. What do I think about the approval of appeal, the weird toxic coating that somehow got approved for organic use? I don't like it, and I'm also freaked out just by the fact of, like, you know, yeah, that's just part of what I'm talking about. See, organic doesn't necessarily mean that it's safe. You know what I mean? Like, there's plants right now that you could make some fucking tea with and boil down the tea into some kind of toxic syrup, and it would be totally deadly. Even tobacco, you can do that with. Like, you could make a deadly dose of nicotine from tobacco leaves. And just because something's organic, I mean, I'm talking about just with like a water extraction. If you're just doing like a water and heat extraction for something, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not organic. So they can literally make crazy chemicals totally organically, and I just don't. Yeah, it's just sketch. If you didn't watch it grow, you really don't know. You honestly don't know. Or if you found it in the woods, you know what I'm saying? I would like to. I think that foraging is a good skill to have as well on this mission. We need some foragers. asbestos is organic. This is true. Exactly. It's the greenwash word. Exactly. Like, I don't want fucking pesticide. Like, you know what I would like more than organic label on my shit? Is I want pesticide residue free. That's what I want. You know what I'm saying? I don't want herbicides and pesticides. I don't want anything that says side on it. Anything that's intended to kill anything, even if it's supposedly non-toxic to humans. I don't want to eat that. I don't want to eat anything that's supposed to kill anything. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I don't really care about anything else beyond that. I buy organic just because I'm trying to minimize my exposure to the pesticides and shit. Like sometimes, like I've done the carnivore diet and stuff in the fast, and it's like sometimes like it's like you know when you're coming from vegetarian, you're like, oh, why do I feel so much better? It's like you wonder, like, is it because I needed protein, or is it because I was overdosing on fucking pesticides when I was eating all these vegetables and shit all the time? And I stopped. You know what I mean? That's my whole thing. Sam, you want to be boop? Boop. Yeah, I see exactly. We gotta take care of the future babies. I'm just not into the chemicals thing. It's even like, the climate change whole thing. Look, I don't care what the weather is. I want to breathe clean air. That's the way I'm looking at that. Like, I don't want to breathe a bunch of fucking chemicals and shit, no matter what the weather's like. So, you know what I mean? Like, stop taxing me, but just stop letting people put fucking shit in the air. I'm not trying to change the weather. I just don't want to breathe shit in. If I gotta pay a little bit more or I can't get certain cleaning products or whatever fucking crap that they're making with that technology that causes that problem, like, I'm okay with it. Like, I just want food, clean air, clean water. Like, all this other shit that they're fucking up the planet to do doesn't seem that important. You know what I'm saying? They can fucking keep their fucking lithium batteries and shit. Like, okay, I mean, there's some usefulness there, but only a usefulness because we made it into a necessity. If we didn't fucking revolve our whole life around electricity, it wouldn't be such a fucking major thing or major loss to not have it. But that's the world that they created. Alright, you guys, Frankita's off. She's going camping. Alright, I'm calling it too. This is about 2 hours long. This is kind of a different stream. I liked it. It was fun. It was lightweight. Joe Lucas says, that's why I'm making my own clothes, cotton thread, cotton cloth, metal wood, seashell buttons, no plastics. Yeah, see, that's a big thing too. Joe, you're a good person to have in our thing. We're happy to have you. He's got the skills, and from there, other people could learn. We're gonna feed the world and teach them how to make clothes. We can do all kinds of stuff, you guys. There's no reason for us to be sitting on our hands. Like, we're having fun. We could bring spirituality to people at the same time, teach them to meditate, teach people about nutrition. There's so much can be done. So much can be done. And matter of fact, we don't even have to be, if we made it, if it was cool enough, you really don't even have to be mobile. You could just literally make a bunch of farms all over the place. You know what I'm saying? We could do it the old-fashioned way, you know, with just dirt on the ground. And, you know, I think the agroforestry thing is really interesting too. You know what I'm saying? Or just in general, like small scale geoengineering. Like I was trying to, the reason why I have all this farm stuff was really, it was like more of like a scientific like experiment. I was trying to farm in Vegas in the desert because there was just there was a lot of like, you know, there's a lot of land available. It's just harsh for farming and stuff, but I figured if you could figure out how to farm it, you could, you know, make something happen. But we don't have to make it that complicated if we were willing to go places and do things. I don't know. I think it's a good idea. I'm all about it. Yeah, Joe's the man to know if we turn into zombie land for sure. I think he's the man either way. We're gonna eat, you guys. It's fucking like I'm in the capital of avocados. It's still $5 for 2 organic avocados right now. All right. Like my organic food bill is nothing to laugh at. Let me tell you. You know, the other thing about eating a vegetarian diet is you need to eat a lot more than you do if you eat meat. You know what I mean? Like, I spend at least $10 a day on avocados. You know what I'm saying? I love Bruce Lee. I love Bruce Lee more now than I ever did, even though my name, Bruce, was originally, because I named my dog after Bruce Lee, and then I named myself after my dog. But now that I realize, you know, that people like Bruce Lee, like I understand like a little bit more about the Tao, and that like these martial arts, some of them, like some of the more like esoteric ones, like they employ spiritual power into, you know, physical movement, which is really, really, really interesting. And I do believe that Bruce Lee legitimately was able to harness some of that power, which is interesting, especially since I think that normally it would probably be a damper on your spirituality to be famous, which is like one of my big setbacks, honestly. But we're making the most of it, and I think that's what he did as well. So it's pretty interesting. Magic says, I love my Mexican farmers market, so affordable, organic, just an experience. That's the other thing. That's a nice thing also too, is like they got great produce in Mexico. I'm not gonna lie. It's awesome. Mexico. I'll be back. Until then, I'm in storage liquidation mode. Much love, everybody. I think that this is lagging a lot, and that's why you guys are already planning and milking the goats. I'm with it. I love goats. Goats are awesome. I want goat cheese, goat milk. You know what I mean? Whatever else we can make with goats. No kebabs. No kebabs. You know, chickens. We don't even have to be mobile. Just point me in a direction. All right, you guys. Yes, you guys should milk the goats together. You know what they say about a girl that knows how to milk a goat? I don't know either, but they should say something. strong wrist, you know what I mean? Sorry guys, I'm not really at my most peak funny element. I thought that I was going to come up with a funny joke there. I remember, it reminds me, I thought I was going to pull it off because I actually bought a domain once. It was, I don't really want to say it. It was butterchurningsomething.com. It's like butterchurninghose.com or something. I literally actually owned that domain, yeah, at one point. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was genius. It was one of the best, yeah, one of the best like $15 I ever spent on GoDaddy.com, just to say that I owned butterchurninghose.com. I don't know. I'll never find the screenshot, you know what I'm saying, for the proof. It's buried in my giant archive of screenshots that I'm never going to look at or need, but butterchurninghose.com was definitely a thing. It existed. It's been bought before. Yeah, I remember what gave me the idea was there was this butter I used to really like that was Amish butter. And it was like, there was one that was double churned Amish butter, and it had like a picture of a bunch of like Amish chicks on the front. And they're like Amish gear. And I was like, damn, you know, I bet those double butter churning hoes really, you know, so there was going to be a theme for that website. There was going to be like, you know, the theme was going to be like chicks with like buff wrists, if you know what I mean. She's a little buff in the wrists, you know what I mean. Yeah. Sorry. You like it? Maya's into it. Veins and all that. Yeah, exactly. Like she had that like butter churning power. Both-handed though. You need two hands to churn butter. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Butter. You got to have two hands to churn butter, and for me, like I'm a two-hander myself. You know what I mean? You gotta have those butter churning wrists if you want to keep, you know, yeah, I want that butter churning grip. No lie. Keep it proper. Don't get it twisted, or maybe you do. Get it twisted. A two-hander need the dual action. I agree, yeah. Dual action is where it's at. You know what I mean? The Amish. That's why they, you know what I'm saying? That's why they detached from the grid, the Amish. You know what I mean? They're keeping it a secret. They didn't want the art of the butter churning grip to be lost. They don't know, like most men have probably never even really felt what it's like to shake hands with a really, you know, a butter churning grip of a woman, from a woman. And most men have never experienced that. I've experienced a lot in my life, but I've never had a real butter churning Amish grip. You know what I'm saying? But somebody's got to shake hands with the Amish, and that's mainly the male Amish husbands of the Amish wives. And I don't even know, they might even have, I don't know how many wives they have in the Amish. They might have multiple. which means there might be action. Maybe sometimes they help each other churn the butter. You never know. Like if I had 2 Amish wives, I would probably, you know, make their life a little easier, and I would have them churn butter together, like a team event. You know what I mean? Especially if you're gonna double churn it. If you're gonna churn the butter twice, it seems like maybe you should have 4 nice, strong butter churning hands gripping the churning pole or whatever you call it. I don't know, what do you call that little the paddle? Is it the paddle? So Joe, can you actually tell us more? Have you ever met a real butter churning Amish woman? We follow a form of Anabaptist, which preaches the biblically accepted concept of one man, one wife. Oh, so you only get one butter churning wife. Well, that's good. That's good for them. That's enough. It might be too much. Two butter churning wives might just be too much. Not for me. I could probably handle it. But the average man, he would lose. He would not probably be able to hang with that much grip. I think I could do it. Like I would shake hands with those women all day long. No fear. You know what I'm saying? What's my height? Alright, my thing froze for a second. I was like, I hope I didn't go too hard on this butter churning fantasy of mine. 188 centimeters, Ivan. Joe says, one of my former employers was an Amish man. I was living in Kelowna and working on his farm one summer. His wife had a grip like a steel vise. There you have it. It's true. It's true. I knew it was true. It wasn't just a fantasy after all. 188. Don't short me of my other 8 centimeters. Did I say 180? I meant 188. I want those other centimeters. They count. This room recovered. Does anyone have any last minute questions? Before I go? Just meditate on it. You can grow. You can grow and fast. There's actually a guy that I follow that he fasted for 30 days and got taller. Monty Python. Yeah, you can still get taller. You just gotta, your human growth hormone just goes skyrocketing up when you fast. So I would try that. There was a guy that got like 2 inches taller on Instagram. I believe it. He could be full of it, but I think it was good. But you got to do it for like a long time. It's a big thing. Yeah, the fast is big, but do a long one. We all should be fasting. I'm gonna fast as well. Anyways, I love you guys. I gotta go. The day has become too beautiful. I gotta go. Fasting could get you taller. Probably less. The guy was actually way older than 25. He was like in his 30s or something. But fasting dramatically increases your human growth hormone, which is also a good reason why for people who are not vegetarian, bone broth or some type of collagen supplement can be a really good addition to your fasting breaking protocol, because it makes your body use collagen really, really well, which can restore your skin and hair and all that stuff as well. So, really interesting. That being said, I hate to leave off on the bone broth thing. Now I gotta talk more. What do you guys want to talk about? Can't just leave off on bone broth. Maya's got Tourette's over here. She's just like, I gotta say this. I can't hold it in. She's like, what are we talking about, you guys? Alright, the dog's unhappy. Sammy, you ready? What's wrong, dude? A lot of dogs would kill to have your life. Don't look so depressed. It's just like, this is so sad looking. Sad. Our Sam, stop looking sad. What's the coolest thing I've got listed for sale? Like actually listed? I haven't gotten that much listed, but I guess the coolest thing I got listed for sale is the punching bag from the Caught My Coach project. There's a punching bag that's in the background of a few of the scenes that I shot for that project. It was a brand new punching bag. It was with, the big heavy bag with the speed bag and all that. And like I edited it so that instead of it saying Pro Force, it said Bro Force. It doesn't still say Bro Force because it was just tape. But the actual punching bag that I shot like 3 or 4 scenes up against is going to be one of the things for sale. Now, I don't know if I was planning on just selling it like as a used punching bag, but I was actually thinking that maybe some people would like to actually buy that as like a collector's item, since it had like Kylie Rocket and Jane Wilde and Liz Taylor and also Scarlett. Dang, I feel bad. I forgot. Something Scarlett something. Had about 4 chicks on it. Hang on. I worked with that chick 3 times in a row. I'm drawing blank. But, yeah, there's that. There's also my old couch, like the super fancy, like black and white leather couch with the weird shapes and stuff. That's one of the items. I don't know, there's some good stuff in there, but those are probably the interesting collector's items. I'm gonna list, I have like a million pairs of like designer jeans that I'm gonna put, that I wore in like all those scenes as well. From that kind of standpoint, it's just that stuff. Other stuff's just normal, like, normal furniture and stuff like that. There's some nice furniture, but it's all been used now. I mean, I got my king size platform bed. That's like this massive bed frame. My cat's kind of scratched it and stuff, but definitely, if somebody was like a big fan, it did a lot. on that bed. And the couch as well. I wish I would have had everyone sign that couch. It would have had like hundreds of signatures on it. But yeah, I mean, I guess the coolest things to me, aside from that, it's like my book collection, but I'm not selling it. So it's one of the things I'm gonna keep. Someday I'll have a little library or a bookstore somewhere. But I'm not probably going to sell, I mean, anything like crazy personal, like, but for me, like, personal is just like my books and my writing and stuff. Like, everything else is like just household stuff. But it's all my clothes and everything, like, you know. And I've had a lot of this furniture for over 10 years, so it's kind of like a thing. I have like some scientific equipment and stuff that people will probably be surprised to see me selling, I guess. And you know, it's like a lot of the farm stuff, but I think I'm gonna end up having to sell that stuff even though I don't want to, because it's an easy sell, you know. Everybody wants to garden. Nobody wants to pay what they charge nowadays for simple items. Yeah, exactly. Someday I'm going to sit there and read all the books, but I'm like, you know, first I want to like let my spiritual process like keep developing while like from the, you know, in like a pure environment. Like I feel like I'm an experiment, and I'm a scientist at heart. You know what I mean? So being both the scientist and the experiment, or should I say being the test subject and the scientist, both, you know, is a thing where I really want to like, it means a lot to me, right? So I got to, I'm undergoing this whole process, which, you know, from what I gather, it's pretty rare for it to happen totally spontaneously like this, especially to this level. So I don't want to waste that opportunity by now filling myself with a bunch of information from outside when I'm being infused with information from, you know, basically an interdimensional source, you know what I'm saying? So, but I still buy the books, I collect them, and you know, on subjects that I think later on are going to be interesting to me. But for now, I'm just kind of keep collecting, don't take anything in, let everything happen naturally, and then later on I can decide how I want to expand on the experiment once I have like a control base, you know what I mean? You like the Angel Wendell one? Yeah, she's cool. Let's see. When Warrior says, I feel like the jeans would go for a lot on some kind of other website that practically collector's items. Yeah, I was thinking of putting them on Poshmark. You know what I mean? You'd buy a handwritten poem. I actually have like the most sickest piece of art in a safe that I lost the combination. And I have to cut open the safe to get it out, but I have like a whole book. It's like basically poetry is just stuff that I wrote. Like, you could say poetry. And it's got this whole like art in the middle of it, like of this whole phoenix that's like burning, like it's a burnt phoenix that rises out of the center of it when you like flip through the pages. And it's got all like my poetry and stuff, and they're all handwritten in like calligraphy. And it wasn't completely finished, but it was like 2/3 done. And yeah, I think it's locked in a safe that I can't get into. So, just been carrying around the whole safe, and the only thing inside the safe is the book that I made. So that's probably a personal item that I would sell, but it's something that I actually think that I might just leave it as it is instead of finishing it, because since I've had all this spiritual awakenings and everything, like my visions and everything, or the way I understand things, like there's a lot of like stuff that I wrote about that I no longer agree with, because, you know, I was kind of like a bit of a nihilist before. Like I didn't really, you know, I was more of like a scientific mind, a scientific base of, you know, thought. And now I have such a deeper understanding of the universe and what's really going on with everything, that it would be really it would be pretty weird if I started putting more recent stuff into it, compared to the old stuff. I don't know, but actually, I don't know. Maybe I'd have to look at it. Maybe it'd be cool to put like my recent thought process like after the Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? And the first half would be like the before the thing. I have to see where I left off. But yeah, there's some pretty cool. There's some cool art and writing and stuff. That's like the kind of stuff that I actually want to, like, you know, secure and separate from everything else. But you know, no doubt, if somebody got the whole storage as like a bundle, I think it would be the coolest thing, because you know, like the whole furniture set and everything has been in so many scenes that for sure, if you have like the whole furniture set, like, you know, like it's an obvious original, you know what I mean? Was the Phoenix already a powerful symbol for me a long time ago? Yeah, it actually has been for a long time. It was so weird, because I don't know. It's like you can actually go back and like scroll through my Instagram. There's like it was a era when I was in Europe. I was shooting for the Russians, and they like didn't have any kind of coffee maker. You know, like no way to make coffee. But they had coffee, right? So they taught me the Russian way to make coffee, which works for me. You just dump the coffee into the hot water and wait for it to sink. And once it sinks, you're good. Now you got some coffee. That's how they do it, right? And so I was drinking coffee like that, and I would always, like, at the end, I would pour out my thing and like look at my grounds, and I would do the whole topography thing. It was just kind of like, I wasn't serious about it, but I was kind of serious about it. And I got more serious about it because one day I was like seeing, there was like it's a picture on there where I said Scarab Coffee, and the weirdest thing is that same day, later that day, a big ass scarab came and like flew to me and like locked gaze with me, and I had this whole like experience with an extraterrestrial scarab, because no insect could fly like this and has glowing red eyes, and it was like, it's just a crazy thing, but too crazy to even talk about because I'll sound crazy. But anyways, I had this experience with the scarab that day, so I got more serious. And then another day, there's a picture on there too of where I seen like the phoenix in my coffee cup, and it inspired me so much that I had like because earlier that day I had like changed my wallpaper on my background on my phone to a phoenix, and then I seen the phoenix in my coffee cup, so it was like a double thing. So I don't know, there's been some weird, maybe I've always been weird, I don't know. Time to get out the angle grinder. Yeah, I know, I got it. I hate fucking doing it. you know, yeah. I was always hoping that I was going to kind of find the code somewhere. But I guess I am going to have to probably cut open that thing as part of the storage process. But it is what it is. That's what happens. Oh, cool. Oh, my hair is dry now. Anyways, alright, you guys, I think I'm gonna go. That's a good idea, though. I mean, you know what? I was thinking it'd be cool to do some shorter books, or even like doing like stuff like that. Like that was like supposed to be like an interesting thing, because I was thinking like it would be cool to not just write like books and sell them like published books, but to do handwritten one of a kinders, and to, you know, just auction one of a kind pieces. Yeah, it was just handwritten books where it's like an art piece and a book in one, but only the person that buys it gets to read it. I thought it'd be, but then, you know, then it's kind of like, it would have to be a special piece for that. It had to be something you didn't want the whole world to see. You know what I mean? But it's an idea. It's something I've already experimented with, but you gotta go. I gotta go too. Listen, much love, you guys. Thank you for having the stream. It was fun to have like a more lighthearted stream. You know, not talking about anything serious. Fun to have a little joking time. I really do think that the caravan could be cool. And much love, everybody. I'm gonna go. Adios.